Surrounded Nightmare Mode, where zombies run as fast as you can sprint. They three-shot you, and if they see you, you're dead. If they smell you, you're dead. I also have only played this game for about 20 minutes just to get a feel for the controls, so I have absolutely no game knowledge, no map knowledge. I'm going to tweak a few settings. I'm going to reduce the damage just a little bit, just so I can survive 3 shots. I'm going to increase the spawn rate to make it a little bit harder, more zombies, but I'm going to reduce the speed just enough that the zombies sprint as fast as my sprint speed. And I'm going to leave the loot tables completely on Nightmare Mode. All right, so our first priority is going to be figuring out where we're at. I'll give you guys a little land navigation tip when it comes to video games. So anytime you spawn in any game, usually you're going to spawn in the morning, which means that the sun rises in the east, assuming the game is designed around the Earth. But you can see the shadows here of the trees are pointing to the hillside, which indicates that is west. So little land nav tip in real life and in video games, that the sun is always going to come from the east, and the shadows in the morning will point to the west. Now, I know that it's morning because the shadows are reducing. They're getting smaller. If you pay attention and watch them, they move, which indicates that the sun is rising, which is reducing the shadows. So at least we know the direction of the compass in the west. So you actually don't need a compass to figure out the direction that you're at, assuming that there's sun, as long as there's sun. Now, if it was foggy or cloudy, then you got bigger problems. But all right, let's try to find a water bottle. So our number one, okay, looks like we got some pants. Ooh, with some slots, that's good. So we can collect some trash to at least sell. But our number one priority right now is dehydration. That is our biggest risk. It's our biggest threat right now. And we need to find a water bottle and find some water. That's the first thing that is going to kill us. Zombies, obviously, are going to be okay. There's our first one. And I don't know how he saw me. Okay, looks like we can stun lock, which is good. And wow, these zombies are strong. That was half my stamina to kill one zombie. Okay. These zombies, they could possibly be the most dangerous zombies I've ever had in a video game. I'm trying to think of, like, at least normal zombies, if you're talking about a boss zombie or another type of zombie. But as far as normal zombies go, they're extremely deadly. And the fact that it only takes about 3 or 4 shots to kill us means we are basically useless right now. So, okay. We need to figure out where we're at. So now I'm looking for major landmarks. You always want to look for the largest thing, whether it's a mountain or a tower or something, to locate where you're at on the map. So it looks like there's some lights down the road. There's 2 red lights. That's some kind of tower. Okay, we got a hill to the west of us. We have a lower hill to the right of us. There's a bus and these deer. Thank God they are kind of dumb, so we can grab some food and possibly sell it for some money to buy a water bottle. But food isn't our issue right now. It's going to be dehydration. Okay, and there's zombies that way. We're not going to chase the deer for that. So in games where you're playing nightmare mode or extreme hardcore permadeath, oftentimes your ability to survive and win is less about your ability to, your skill set, your ability to one tap and headshot, and your pro level gaming skills. It's not really about that. Okay, there's a windmill that way. That's important. That's a big landmark. Okay, so we have 1 windmill. We're looking for a single windmill. All right, there's a single windmill on the northeast side, but the terrain doesn't look like the terrain in the road. There's 2 windmills down here, but I didn't see 2 windmills. I'm not seeing any other. There's 2 more windmills. I don't see any single windmills. Yeah, it's 1 windmill. Looks like there's smoke over there. I'm assuming that's probably a camp. Probably not a camp we want to go to with a knife. Where the hell are we? Is there any other stuff that we can navigate off of? It's a pretty big hill over to the west. All right, don't push the deer. Kill it. Use a knife to kill the deer. Okay. Oh, it looks like the road or the grass, so it's kind of brown over here. Let's get up on this hill. High ground is always best. If you want to locate where you're at, getting on the largest landmass you can is going to allow you to locate and navigate where you're at. Nope. All right. Bandits. That's not. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Okay. Well, this just got harder. If it wasn't already hard enough, and I can't sprint. It looks like my leg's broken. Okay, that little icon. All right. What's? Oh, he fell. Nice. Oh, if I can. Oh. Easy gun. There's no way that I can clear those zombies though. Not with a knife. Not when it takes half my stamina to kill one. Oh fuck. I really want that gun. I can't even out sprint them either because they run just as fast as me. So if I attempt that, I'm dead. And there goes our bandages. Looks like that did not fix my broken leg, which means, yeah, it's probably normal. I'll need a splint, but yeah, in games like this in Nightmare mode, it's more about risk assessment than it is your hard skills. So your ability to stay alive and survive really just comes down to pure risk assessment. So looking at a situation, analyzing it, understanding what's the risks, what can possibly get you killed, and how do we outsmart the situation with our mind? Because you're... Oh, great. Okay. All right. As I talk about risk assessment and your mental ability to survive, I fall down 2 hills and break my legs in the process. Okay. We cannot go that way. We can't go up the hill. We definitely can't go through this town. So... it would really help if we can figure out where we're at. Okay, so we got the tower with lights, and we have the big hill with brown grass, and we have that windmill. That should be enough of a locations and, using geometry to figure out where we're at. We know which direction west is, so we can kind of visualize this terrain and these objects in this little town and kind of imagine what they would look like on a map. So let's get up on this hill and see if we can spot some terrain that looks like this. So grassy hill to the east, brown hill to the west. We got a windmill to the northwest and a tower, it looks like, with a crossroad. So we got a T crossroad, so we're looking for a T crossroad, a hill southwest of that. Yeah, so I can kind of visualize that. All right, so first brown, obviously. Is this brown? What is this color? That's not the same color. I'm assuming it's brown. All right, so we got brown over here. I don't see any single windmills. I don't see a T road or a town. All right, we do have a hill here. And that's a pretty large hill. And we got a grassy hill on the south. T-road, windmill, 3 houses. Okay, 3. All right, is this where we're at? There's a T. There's a T. Oh, there's the windmill. Okay. It's a pretty straight road. It doesn't bend too much. All right. I think that's where we're at. So if I look on this side of the hill, what's over here? We got some more hills to the distance, more windmills far off. Got the straight road and the T and another hill far off. Yeah, I think this is where we're at. This is looking, yeah, there's a hill down here to the south. There's another hill to the left. We got a straight road, a very straight road. And that looks like a straight road. Yeah, okay, so this is where we're at. All right, so straight road points almost directly to the camp that we got to get to. All right, and hopefully you learned something through that. Land navigation and figuring out where you're at is one of the most important survival techniques you can have in any real life situation or video game when you're walking in blind and you don't know where you're at. All right, looks like there's some zombies that I definitely don't want to mess with. So do I go left or right? That's the question. It looks like there's a town to the right or something. That's going to have a lot of zombies, so we're going to go left and avoid the zombies. Okay. Getting close. We're going to have to cross a road soon. This is the end of that bridge, it looks like. I'm sure there's some decent loot on that bridge, maybe. But let's just take a look at the road before we try to cross. So apart on the topic of risk assessment, situational awareness is what keeps you alive in hardcore situations. Again, it's not your skill set. It's purely just awareness and knowledge. Your ability to see what's going on and predict what's going to kill you before it kills you, because there's a very high chance that you're going to die, and there's a lot of things that can kill you. So increasing your knowledge and your awareness of a situation is what makes or breaks this. And I would argue that you can even be a terrible player as far as like a shooter, FPS, but as long as you have very high knowledge and awareness and situational awareness, you can play pretty much any game with a nightmare level difficulty. It's just being very calculative on every move that you're doing. It might be annoying to like crouch across the road when, you know, I'm sure there's people watching this that know exactly the distance of the aggro for the zombies and, you know, are yelling that I don't need to crouch across the road. But again, it just takes one mistake to end everything. And it's actually a lesson that my father taught me working in manufacturing. I come from a family business that pours molten metal for 70 years, molten metal and sand foundry and machinery and cutting metal. And, you know, I've had molten metal splash on my safety glasses before and almost burn my eye out. And my father told me working one day when I was like 19 years old, he said, "Garen, don't ever disrespect the machinery. You can be right 1,000 times. You can come into work every single day and do everything perfectly. But it just takes one mistake to lose your hand. Just once. Just one time. That's all it takes. Don't ever disrespect the machinery, because when it comes to machinery versus you will lose every single time." And I think that's a really good, you know, life lesson, actually. It's a good thing to live by in general when it comes to risk and understanding, you know, what is it in my immediate future that could present a lot of problems very quickly if things go wrong. You know, the old saying, most Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and they're just 1 or 2 weeks away from bankruptcy or extreme disaster. That's bad risk assessment. So, all right, looks like we're at the bandit camp. Let's see if we can get some gear. We got water, so we're good here. Now we need to get more water. So let's figure that out. I'm assuming we can fill up here. See what the other... all right, so we got some backpacks. I definitely need a backpack. All right, we want the biggest backpack, obviously. We've got some books. We definitely want to skill up as fast as possible. A lot of people sleep on skill points in video games, but I'm assuming especially like melee, I think we're going to be meleeing a lot, so getting more damage on melee. All right, so you got medical stuff and materials. This must be the base building. I'm gonna love base building. Kind of tease you guys, but I used to be one of the best base builders in Rust, a game called Rust. It's a very interesting game if you haven't played it, but I actually used to build star fortresses in Rust, not Mott and Bailey. You know, towers. Most people build like towers or basically a Mott and Bailey, which I don't know if I'm autistic, but I'm the type of person that studies military fortification designs from like the 17th century. And I used to build some pretty insane bases, and they're almost next to impossible to raid. I was one of the top builders in that game, so I love base building. I was a former engineer in my family business in manufacturing, so I have a background in engineering, and any game that's, like voxel. Okay, we can fill up some water. Awesome, but it's dirty. We need to... Okay, looks like we can... All right, awesome. So we got clean water. We are set on hydration. So that eliminates one immediate threat. Now, our next immediate threat and risk is food. So we need to locate and get some food. Obviously, we got deer we can kill. They're stupid enough to stand and let me knife them to death, so that's convenient. Hopefully that doesn't get patched. But yeah, in engineering and fortification design, I love building bases. So in a episode in the future, I will teach you guys some very useful techniques of just fortress and base design. I don't know if there's like hordes, like roaming hordes in this game. If there's not, I'm assuming there will be, because what's the point of having a base mechanic if you can't defend it, or if there's not a reason to build a fortified base? So regardless of what the current game state is, I will teach you guys some stuff that will be useful in basically any video game. I actually use a lot of these techniques in not just zombie games or Rust, but I've used them in Arma, I've used them in Hell Let Loose. Pretty much any game that allows you to build fortifications, you can use these techniques, and they will drastically increase your survival rate and defensive ability. And it's stuff that I don't see a lot of people teach or a lot of people do, unfortunately, but I guess not a lot of people are the type of autism that studies 17th century fortification design, so par for the course. All right, I think this is a good place to stop the first episode. I'm just going to fish and experiment with collecting wood and getting some money so we can get some weaponry for the next episode, so that we can go out and actually start looting and start getting some better gear. So I will see you in the next one.